What we're going to do is we're going to look at word problems. So with the word problems, what we're going to do is we're going to read it and we're going to come up with our own sequence. Once we have our sequence, then we're going to answer each of the different questions. So for the first one, what we have are 20 seats in the first row. Then we have 22 in the second, 24 in the third, and 26 in the fourth. So our sequence is 20, 22, 24, and 26. So we have to decide, is this arithmetic or geometric? We see that it's going up by 2. So that tells us that it's arithmetic. So it's going to be a sub 1 equals 20. We have a comma. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1. And then I'm adding 2. Now it's asking how many seats in the 15th row. I'm going to use my explicit form. A sub 15 equals 20 plus 15 minus 1, and then I'm going to times it by 2. And that right there gives me 48. And we're talking about seats. Now for letter C, it says find the total number of seats in the first row. In the first rows, 8 rows, we're going to write in sigma notation, and then we're going to use a summation formula to find it. So sigma notation, what we have is our sigma. We're going to start with 1, and then since it's the first 8 rows, we're going to end with 8. We're going to put it as 20 plus, and then we have I minus 1, and then 2. So that's the sigma notation. And then our sum formula, what we're going to do is we're going to use the 8 over 2, and then 2 times 20, and then plus, and then we have the 8 minus 1, and we're going to times it by 2. And that right there gives us 816. So looking at the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our next formula. This time it tells us there are 8 cases in the first week, 24 in the next, 72 in the third, and 216 in the fourth. So when we look at our sequence, we have 8, 24, 72, and 216. This time we notice that we're multiplying by 3. So we have a sub 1 equals 8, comma, a sub n equals a sub n minus 1, and I'm multiplying by 3, so I'm going to times it by 3. Now for the next one, what we have is how many new cases. So I'm going to have the a sub 10 equals, I have 8 times 3, and then I'm going to raise it to the 10 minus 1. And that gives me 157, 464 new cases. Then for letter C, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our sigma notation, then we're going to do a sum formula. So we're trying to find the sum of 7 weeks. The sigma notation formula, we start with 1, we end with 7. What we have is our first term being 8. We're multiplying it by 3, and that would be the I minus 1. And if we use our sum formula, what we have is 8, And then we have times 1 minus 3 to the 7 over 1 minus 3. And that right there gives us 8,744 cases.